Good morning. This is Susan Fullmer. I'm a healer and a teacher. I was meditating this morning and the thought came to me to talk a little bit about the evolution of human intuition as seen by a dinosaur such as me. I say that lovingly. I turned 60 last week and I've been doing energy work, teaching energy work for decades. And of course, I've been intuitive my whole life. And so I've really had the opportunity of watching this snowball effect as far as the human evolution. We are going through an unprecedented time in our history. Actually, the sages and the mystics and the prophets have been talking about this for thousands of years, as far as a human evolution. So my language is energy. So how I would explain it and how I see it and feel it and sense it is that our vibration is literally rising, and so is the Earth's vibration. And this phenomenon has been snowballing. So back in the day when I used to teach, for example, how to read energy, how to do psychic readings, because, by the way, if you're human, then you are intuitive. And you can, it's like any other skill and ability. You may have some natural inclination, but when you are taught and you practice and you're taught some more, and you practice some more, you can get quite good at it. And so, back in the day when I taught these classes, it was very meticulous, very laid out. We'd start with the white ball in front of your third eye, visualizing that, and then letting it come in through your third eye and into the center of your head, and then dropping about a half an inch, which would put you in the pineal gland. So if you ever would like to do an interesting search sometimes, check out, first of all, what the pineal gland is and what scientists say that it does, and then search something like spiritual meaning of pineal gland, and check that out. It's very interesting. But anyway, that's our reading space, and that's how I taught it long ago. Well, what I found over time, and this, of course, like I said, has been snowballing, is that's old and antiquated and gets in the way anymore of what humans are doing and what they know. And they're just coming in knowing things. And so now what I do, most of what I teach is simply validation. Yes, you know what you know. Yes, you see what you see. Yes, you can do what you do. And, give them a few tips on maybe boundaries and setting up protections and setting up a good sacred space where you have that container to do the work. But as far as the work, people know, they just know. So if you're sensing these things, if you're waking up to these things, first of all, you're not alone. This is going on around the globe. People are waking up, which is exciting. But it's also, at the same time, can be very frightening. If we live in a culture, for example, mine, where none of this was taught, and in fact, I knew at a very early age that it wasn't okay, and it was dangerous, and it was frowned upon, and it had all kinds of negative labels put on it, and I learned to stuff it down and deny who I was, and pretend that I didn't know what I knew, and pretend that I didn't know that people were lying to me. And that really messes with us. What we intuitively can sense when someone's lying to us, which is a great gift. It's a great way to go through life when you can tell when people are lying to you, which is a very simple thing to do. Most of it's acknowledgement that you know what you know. But when you're a kid and the people you love and the people that you rely on for everything, and remember, us humans are tribal folks. We need the community. We need each other. We are hardwired for love and connection. And so to lose that is devastating. And so what we often do is we stuff that down and we pretend we don't know what we know, and to great destruction to ourselves, our beings, our ways of living and thinking and believing. So as that starts to crumble away, which it does and will and is, because of the energies that are going on the planet right now, again, within the planet itself and also within humans, this is not a genie we can put back in the bottle. It's not. And so I believe that some of what we're seeing, this great chaos is, and this separation and divide, those that are opening up and like, wait, not all that I have believed and seen and known is based on any kind of truth. And that's devastating. That's devastating. I know from personal experience. But unfortunately, it's happening now at such a fast pace. And it's not a merry-go-round we can get off of. We either go and have fun with the ride and go with the flow of what is happening, or, we fight against it. And that will increasingly get more and more uncomfortable, which is where the anger comes from. Anger is actually about fear. So if we can pause for a moment and go deeper with our anger and get real honest with ourselves that maybe there's something deeper here. Maybe it's just not the thing I've latched onto. It's like, this thing is so fear. Perhaps. So if you're feeling very angry and frustrated and you just want to pound your fists against the wall or against someone, you may want to just take a moment and get just below that anger and say, is there some fear going on here? And if so, the next question might be, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? Let's do meditation. So if this isn't your jam and you want to buzz onto your day, have a blessed day. And or if you're not in a place where you can do a quiet meditation, press pause and come back to this at a time when you can get quiet, when you're not interrupted. So find a comfortable place. You can sit, you can lay down, whatever feels good to you. Sometimes I like to put a little eye covering over my eyes to block out the light. You can put on some soft music or light a candle, whatever feels good to you. And we're going to turn to our breath. So getting comfortable. And what we are literally doing, again, my language is energy. And so we're going to take the energy of wherever we're at in this moment. And I've been talking about some scratchy things, so kind of gets those juices running, because we might be thinking, oh, that thing, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're just going to set that aside for just a few minutes. And I mean literally, just a few minutes. So can I set this thing aside for just a few minutes? And just set it there. It's right there. You can reach out and grab it whenever you want. Just slide it over just a little bit. Set it down. And then we're going to come back to the breath. And so maybe as you feel some of that anger and or fear and or anxiety or any of those things that kind of twist us into a knot, close our heart down and make us back away. Just notice that. We are not judging here. This is simply noticing what's happening. You see, energy isn't created or destroyed. It simply changes vibration. So I like to use the analogy of water. When frozen, those molecules get very slow and you get ice. When heated up, the water heats up and moves and becomes steam. And so the same thing with the energy in our body. We're not going to create or destroy anything. We're going to just shift it a bit. And this shifted energy can last as long as we want to. And it is a skill. The more we meditate, the more we take a moment to breathe and become present, the quicker we can get there. The one thing I've noticed about meditation is when I get into those scratchy places, when I am consumed with fear, when I look around me and I can't see anything positive. Because I have been meditating or yoga or whatever, there's many, many good things out there to help us get into that place of quiet. The more I do that, then when I get into those fearful times, which, that's life, we all get there, especially nowadays, I can get myself back to a quiet place faster because I practice. So think about eking out some time in your day. Quiet meditation, I promise you, for 5 minutes a day. 5. Will make all the difference in the world. There's some great apps out there. I love Plum Village, but there's some really good apps out there and they're free, for meditations of all kinds, guided meditations. So think about finding 5 minutes and being consistent and flexing those muscles for 5 minutes every day. Alrighty, enough talk, Susan. Let's get to the breath. So, and I take my first breath, and already I can feel my energy slowing down. You might even be able to hear it in my voice as I get quieter and softer, smoother, more calm and at peace. Now, what happens to those of us, and I certainly am included in this, who have found some kind of a distraction in life, we might even call it an addiction, but I'll say distraction because it could be of any level. Those distractions often are meant to keep our scary emotions at bay. I'm just going to throw that out as a suggestion. So sometimes as we get quiet, what happens is those scary emotions bubble up. And so we want to jump back into our distractions and push them back down. So that's a whole nother series of tutorial videos that I might do. But I'm only mentioning it now, so as we breathe and as we slow our vibration to a quieter place, it's very common to have some of those thoughts, feelings, fears, anxieties bubble up. And so no judgment, just take a nice, slow, quiet breath and say, here you are. I see you. I acknowledge you. And then you come back to the breath. I even like to feel it in and out of my nose as a focal point. I was taught that by the Sangha here that I attend sometimes. There are many, many good ways to learn meditations out there. So find your path if this is calling to you. So a nice deep breath in. Feel the air coming in through your nose. Focal point, all the distractions. No judgment. I see it. I acknowledge it. And then I come back to the breath. Breathing in, slow, steady, filling the lungs, and noticing the slowing. Maybe a thought. Acknowledge. Come back to the breath. In through the nose, holding, and out. I will let you continue with your breathing. I wish you well.